So today I want to go over the draft from game 1 of FlyQuest vs Shopify this past weekend in the LCS. And I will tell you guys right now, this was really embarrassing, but I just recorded this entire video with my mic muted, and so I'm actually just re-recording my voice over the video. So get that out of the way. Super embarrassing. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Anyways, this was a really bad draft from both sides, but I want to focus on FlyQuest because they're a second place team, actually contending for a championship in the LCS. What I'm going to do afterward, again, is take you over to my draft and show you what I would have done in FlyQuest's shoes. So they go ahead and B1 Renekton. I've been over this a million times at this point, and I don't really know what else to say. This champion is just utterly dog useless. It doesn't do anything. It's just full focused on the early mid game, and teams just basically use it to secure grubs. And most of the times it ends up being a trade for the grubs, and you don't even get all 6. Grubs in general are just an overrated objective in the early game. So Renekton, in my opinion, is just super useless. You can also just make him irrelevant by picking any tank, which teams don't actually do. Teams never actually try to counterpick the Renekton directly. As you can see, Shopify locks in Gnar, which is, borderline even worse. Gnar is such a terrible champion. Really easy to play around, really easy to draft around. So I'm not sure what was going on there. Anyways, Shopify also, to pair with that, locked in Ivern, which is really, really good. We're assuming that they're going to pair that with 2 ADCs. So the scaling on Shopify could actually be pretty relevant in this game. With the Renekton on FlyQuest's side, followed up by Corki Lilia, they've already split themes straight down the middle. Even though Corki Lilia is a fantastic rotation, really, really good scaling, and really good damage, again with the AD-AP mid-jungle duo, they split themes straight down the middle. Renekton, and as you'll see, their last rotation want to play full early game, and Corki Lilia want to play full late game team fight. So this is what I'm talking about. A lot of pro teams do this, if not all of them, splitting themes straight down the middle and just inherently making it difficult for their players to play the game, because their champions want to do different things inside of the game, so their communication and their playstyles are just going to be off naturally, let alone their communication being on the same page. Their champion goals and themes aren't the same, aren't consistent throughout their comp, which is going to make it really difficult for them to play. Anyways, Shopify go ahead and lock the Nautilus on R3, and this is just super random. They should have just countered jungle pick. I don't know why they didn't. They should have saved support probably for last pick. It's just really, really brainless. There's no reason not to counterpick jungle because FlyQuest have already picked it. Definitely not incorporating that draft strategy of just counter what enemy just picked and pick the next OP. I don't really know the reasoning for picking Nautilus either. The champ is just pretty bad and usually just a death bot. They go ahead and pick Jhin on R4 as well, which is awful. With this theme or meta, you could say, of banning a crap ton of ADCs, Jhin is usually the next one in line for most of these pro teams, when in reality he's probably just the worst ADC in the game. Kog'Maw's better, Twitch is better, and there are others too, so I don't know why Jhin is being picked. Pro teams are just delusional. Anyways, you can see by this last rotation that FlyQuest is going to be sending this Lucian down into the bot lane, and what indeed is the only thing people pair with Lucian in the bot lane? Yes, it's going to be Nami. So this just rounds out a horrid draft for FlyQuest. Renekton, Lucian, Nami want to play full early game pre-25 minute, crushing the early and mid game fights, while Corki and Lilia kind of just want to chill in that time, scale up and play for late game team fights. So FlyQuest is going to have a tough time playing this game, and I think that's why this game ended up being so as close as it did, even though the teams are so varied in skill level. It's just because of the comps. And then Shopify go ahead and R5 Draven into the Corki, which is very, very nice. Good to see an actual counter pick there. So Shopify are going to have the early advantage in the mid lane, so we'll look for the Ivern to play around that. Again, even though the Jhin sucks, the Ivern paired with double ADC is going to be really strong, but overall both comps are just pretty useless, but I still would give FlyQuest the advantage just because Lilia and Corki are so good. Alright guys, so we're here over in my draft. Again, I'm recording my voice over the video, so I'm just trying to keep up with it as best as possible. We've filled in the red side picks here again for the purposes of the video. I know that Red side would be responding differently given my different picks on blue side. I'm just showing it in terms of draft strategy and what I would have done if I were in FlyQuest's shoes. So let's go ahead and get started here. I think I have the first pick coming in here. Either way, I go ahead and first pick Corki. I know that. Corki really should be the first pick in every single draft. I don't know why he's not. You know, I've seen Eastern drafts where he falls through both ban phases and falls to really late in the draft, which is just terrible. This champion is so turbo broken, and until he gets nerfed, he should be the first pick in every single draft, barring none. This champion is too good not to pick. And just a side note here, please stop going rapid fire cannon on this champion third. You just want your stacking up your tier early, Triforce, completed tier, and 2 Infinity Edge. There's your 3-item power spike. You're going to be destroying literally everyone by that point. So Corki should always be your first pick on blue side right now in the current meta. So taking into account our draft strategy of countering what enemy just picked and picking the next OP, we actually have the ability to directly counter both jungle and top lane right here. However, Ivern isn't super directly counterable, so we're just going to go ahead and take our pick of the current strong, fast farming AP junglers, and I do end up going Brand here. So I think that Brand is a really strong champion, matches themes with the Corki, which obviously we're going for scaling, range, late game team fight, pretty basic comp here. You can see looking at red side, they don't really have a specific theme. They don't have something they want to go for inside of the game. They're just kind of throwing 5 champs together and calling it a comp, which honestly most teams, especially in the LEC and LCS, currently do, which is, you know, quite a shame. Anyways, you can usually get your pick of the litter, whichever strong AP jungler you want inside of the meta. I go with Brand this game. I just think he's really strong and farms ridiculously fast. So again, we're on theme with the Corki and the Brand right now, wanting to just chill in the early game, farm up, scale, and play for those late game team fights. As soon as we hit those 2 to 3 item power spikes, you know, we're going to be completely online and starting to destroy team fights. And then we go ahead and take the Ornn on B3. So the Ornn into Nars, you know, not a direct counter, but it does completely fine. And what I'm telling my Ornn and my Corki this game, since they're both in not de-advantageous matchups, but not advantageous matchups, is basically just, you know, your goal is to survive the lane. Your only job is to not die in lane, chill, and as soon as you hit your item spikes, we're gonna win. You know, our solo lanes don't have to win the game. They don't have to be the main characters. They don't have to be the heroes. All you have to do is live, survive, get what CS you can, and we're going to be completely fine. This is one of those games, and honestly, most of my drafts, what the case is we're completely fine giving some objectives early. We're completely fine falling 2 to 3, even 4,000 gold behind. We know that as soon as we hit our item spikes and we quote-unquote scale, then we're going to be completely fine, just because our champions are better, they scale better, and our themes are more consistent than enemy team. And so to counter the Jhin on R4, I go ahead and take Milio and Kog'Maw. I think this is a really strong hyper-scaling lane, especially with the range extension with Kog's pre-existing range extension. This duo is really strong, especially into a useless duo like Jhin Nautilus. Additionally, if the Milio player is good, which I'm hoping they are in my case, he can actually cancel Nautilus Q with Milio Q. It's pretty hard to do, I think, but if the Milio player is good, again, that can be a pretty consistent counter there. So you can look pretty easily and see that my team has the better scaling. As soon as Kog hits Bork Ginsu's, as soon as Corki hits Triforce tier, and Brand hits Liandry's Rylai's, and then Ornn starts handing out his items, my team is going to be unkillable and unstoppable, unbeatable in late game team fights come 25-30 minutes. It's not even close. Jhin's useless, Nar's useless, Nautilus is useless. Again, red side has some decent lane matchups, especially in mid lane and maybe top lane, but it's not like Nar's ever going to actually kill the Ornn. So red side really has to get this Draven snowballing early if they want any chance of winning the game. So overall, this is what I would have done if I were on FlyQuest side. Instead of hard splitting themes with early game Renekton Lucian Nami, late game Lilia Corki, you want to have Clear themes, clear, consistent identity throughout your entire comp. Everyone wants to be on the same page and achieving the same goal inside the game. That makes it really easy for your team to play the game and for your players to coordinate what they're actually doing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.